All the time, even now, we are flooded with information by means of which we create certain ideas about things around us. But there is something I have been wondering about recently. How can we look at the same word yet see it in many different ways? Isn't the information we receive the same or at least similar? So what does exactly make each of our worldview unique? At first, I just wanted to avoid misunderstandings while talking with others, but then the topic turned out to be kind of interesting. At some point, I started considering at a riddle that needed a solution. But to be honest, nothing I could come up with felt good enough to be my final answer. So I started asking other people about it, and most of them advised me to focus more on how we understand everything around us. Many of them also pointed out that there are so many factors which have a huge impact on our worldview, and that they do matter, even if we do not realize their power or their existence at all. And today I want to talk about it because I believe that this knowledge may allow us to understand others more easily, and it's just a great chance to reflect on our own way of thinking. So, let me tell you a story. A long time ago, there was a man called Plutarch, and he was very intelligent. Not only did he have an extensive knowledge on many topics, but could also present complex ideas through easy-to-understand stories and riddles. Moreover, he is known for describing the paradox of Theseus's ship. For those of you who are unfamiliar, the Athenians kept the ship on which Theseus had returned from Crete after defeating the Minotaur. The ship was considered a historical treasure and was therefore thoroughly cared for. Over time, individual pieces of wood began to rot, and each decayed part had to be replaced with a new one in order to keep the ship in a good condition. Throughout the years, elements of the ship were changed, one by one, and at some point, all fragments of the ship were replaced with a new one. And the question is, after all the replacement, is it still the same ship? Now, please, raise your hand if, regardless of all the changes that were made, you would call our ship the same. Okay, thank you. And now, please, raise your hand if you wouldn't call the ship the same. Okay, thank you. So, as you see, we have one ship and many answers. But why? Appearing as a simple question with a yes or no answer, the paradox encourages us to reconsider terms we think are obvious. If being the same means maintaining its identity, then what identity is and what determines it? No matter how you just call the ship, you could see it changing over the years. So it seems obvious that we base our ideas on what we can see. But is it safe? There is an exhibition at Maja Makuch Museum which presents how heavily we rely upon visual information. Unfortunately, I didn't take any photos, so let me at least paint you a picture. Imagine some cards on the table, and right now you are one of the visitors who are supposed to take a card from the game of Yakunin issue. As soon as you choose one of the cards, you try to grab it. Only then you realize that there were no real cards at all. They were only printed images. But the glass above the surface kept you at a distance, so it was hard for you to distinguish reality from appearances. This reminds me of how things can be presented on social media, where to gain as much information as possible, we must verify everything and still take it with a pinch of salt. Also, once there was a debate going on the internet, not a huge one. People were thinking whether a cup is half full or half empty. And what I remember the most were not dozens of half full or half empty answers, but one person who asked what had happened to the water in the cup. At first, I didn't know why it was important, but when they explained, it made so much sense. If they knew that the cup was full before and half of it was poured out, it would be reasonable for the cup to be seen as half empty. Conversely, if water was poured into the empty cup, it was logical to call the cup half full. Past experiences have a major impact on how people interpret situations. So, let's assume that to better understand things, we must feel it with our own hands. In this case, our personal experiences and memories should be one of the most reliable sources of information, right? Yes, but not always. It may be hard to tell what really happened when the image of an event is mixed with our emotion. Moreover, past experiences are unique for everyone, and they cannot be seen with the naked eye, which makes creating connection even harder for other people. Each of us has a worldview that helps us make decisions and navigate the world. Our previous experiences teach us what is safe and what might hurt us. Nowadays, media and technology promote certain features of pretty much everything, while ignoring many others, sometimes very important aspects. They filter information, trapping us in bubbles of similar-minded people. And did I mention also our natural susceptibility to choose what confirms our prejudices? Differences in how we perceive the world are neither good nor bad in themselves. They are a part of who we are. So instead of immediately responding with judgment, or even worse, with hostility, can we try to approach these differences with curiosity? Can we treat them not as a threat, but as a chance to better understand each other and the world around us? Thank you.